Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Resilient Woman podcast. I'm your host, Dejanay Singleton. And on this show, you will hear stories of inspiration, resilience, and success from women who've overcome the challenges of life and pursued their dreams. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I'm yours, and I believe. Everybody, welcome to the Resilient Woman podcast. I'm super excited for our guests today that we have in the building coming in from Oakland, California. Hey. Burnett Paul, aka Baba. How you feeling today, Burnett? How you doing?
Wow. I am doing so good. Thank you so much for having me, Desi. This has been amazing. We haven't even started yet. I just love the sound check. It was so good.
Yes, y'all. Welcome Burnett onto the show. Burnett Paul, aka Baba. She is the founder of Epic Arts. She's a dancer, a spoken word artist, a youth pastor in Oakland, California, and she's doing big things. I've known her since undergrad studies, and I've always admired her. And we had a lot of good one-on-one time. And I just appreciated watching her journey. And she was able to launch her program, Epic Arts, under Bond Points of Light Ministry. And so we're just excited today to hear more about her journey before launching Epic Arts. And we're just super excited to get into it. So,
Wow,
Burnett,
I'm excited.
yeah, catch us up. What you been up to lately? What's Epic Arts been up to?
Well, since the pandemic, at first we were just pausing on rehearsals and practices because we just wanted to be sensitive during this time. Didn't want to rush into Zoom because all the kids were going rushing into Zoom because of school, and we didn't want to necessarily have practices outside, not knowing what could be happening to them. But in late May, we started doing Zoom of last year on practices online, and it was amazing. Just having the kids just dance, and we wanted to record a song and just play it around for everybody to watch and see. Um, and we did record it, and it was so much fun just dancing, just to dance, and just to continue to do the devotionals with the girls, because that's what they love too, is the devotional, not only just dancing. Here at Epic Arts, we not only just dance, we also disciple. And so that's just a big non-negotiable, a core pillar in our ministry. And so we had the opportunity to do that last month in December. Point to Light hosted a drive-through Christmas outreach, and so the girls got to perform on a, I want to say, a 25-foot flat truck, and they had to be hovered up and down, and they were on there doing us. We had a solo performance, and we also had the girls do it in a group dance to like one of the songs that talks about Christmas. And so it was so much fun just having the girls do that. And so right now in January we started off fresh with new leadership inside of Epic Arts. We have some of our youth growing in leadership, and we chose two individuals who are actually a lot timid, but we saw their leadership characteristics, and we wanted that to be displayed for the girls. And so right now we have leadership in Epic Arts, and we also are working on our Give Love performance for February. And so there's a lot of stuff happening. We're not missing a heartbeat. Everything might be shut down, but we're not shut down. Now we're having live perform rehearsals. Girls are wearing their masks. They're 6 feet apart. We're taking breaks regularly to do hand sanitizers. We eliminated dinner/snacks so that way we're not just constantly in contaminating each other, but we still have the devotionals, and we still have the discipleship, and we still have the dancing, and which is all the more the reason why they come.
Yes, I love that. And I actually got to watch one of their rehearsals like about a week ago via Zoom, and
Yes.
I was sad that I couldn't be there, but being there via Zoom, y'all had the music going and I was like dancing in my seat. And shout out to Jordan Armstrong. So much love.
Yes.
We about to be playing that song for Give Love. But
Yes. Can that actually be my intro to this video?
oh, okay. We're gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it. I'm gonna talk to my
Oh,
crew.
okay, good.
Yes, I love that. Okay, super cool. So, kind of tell us a little bit about your dream and your passion when you were thinking about launching Epic Arts, because it's girls specifically and it's dance specifically. So, kind of take us through that process when you were first dreaming of this idea.
Yes. So, essentially, Epic Arts is a ministry that God laid on my heart when
Mm,
I was a child. I feel like from a little girl, I remember just seeing dancing and seeing the arts take control of what this society and what this generation will be about, come to. And so being able to see what I saw, see that it would be for the Lord, and know that God included me in part of that plan, it gave me no better joy than to continue to write, continue to dream about this. And so my director noticed that that was something that I was interested in. He let me lead Friday nights, which is it's like our Sunday service for our youth on Friday nights. And so he let me lead it, and most of the times we're doing talent shows or we were doing a special, which will be a spoken word, a dance. And I had people just constantly being being added to the program specifically from the arts. And so he noticed that that was a dream of mine. He noticed that that was a passion of mine. And he said, instead of having that kind of organic um dance and little practices here and there, let's just have an organized program cater to this. Do you have something like that, Burnett? I'm like, do I have something? I am the something. I literally have lived, dream, eat, plan, papers, and undergrad catered to this. So yes, my senior project first, my undergrad was actually exactly that, so I did Epic Arts, presented it to the front of the ministry and class for our senior projects, and I was excited to show him what I had, and he was beyond astonished at what I had. Who's perplexed, almost like, wow, you are really planned for this. I'm like, this is my baby. Okay, I take care of my baby. And so Epic Arts came about March 11th, 2019. Because we were able to just have the funds. Our first donor came in, and then we bought the t-shirts, we bought the girls the water bottles, and we bought the girls just little goodie bags, binders for the devotionals, everything ready to go for them for for the first day, and here on, and then for snacks for and meals for so forth and so on. And so um right now it is catered to women, girls, young girls from 3 all the way up to 20 years old have been on our dance ministry. um and right now it is catered to just dance, because as long as the budget permits and the volunteers, we do want to start incorporating spoken word and drama and worship and choir, and we do want to open it up to male um boys who are talented as well, not even just talented but just interested,
right, right.
because we don't have that kind of accountability to have male pastors or volunteers to help us. We just want to have it at women, because I want to be able to not only dance but also disciple. And if we don't have that discipleship pillar for our men, then I don't want to do them a disservice, and
Right.
so that's right now. That's right. That's why right now we're doing like women and just dance.
That's powerful. I love that. I can't wait to join you guys on the dance
Yes.
floor. Like, I'm just super excited. But
Yes.
tell us, so what makes you, Burnett, a resilient woman?
Mm, wow. Yes. I was a resilient woman in my if I think of the word resilience, I am reminded of the scripture, 2 Corinthians 4:8-12. In all aspects of a resilient woman is designed to strive. Hardships may encompass her, but her by nature, she upholds a behavior of endurance and courage. Don't mistake her tears or sighs or of relief for signs of resignation, but rather a moment of authenticity. That this journey may be exhausting and at times, quite honestly, very difficult. But I was created to stand. And just like Paul wrote in the to the church of Ephesus, after all you have done and everything you have done, continue to stand. And I think when it comes to a resilience and being a resilient woman, it requires us to keep standing, even though we're so used to just taking a knee and sitting down because of the hardships. Let us continue to stand.
Yeah, that's so good. And one thing that you mentioned before to me was that I would be admiring you and your journey even while we were in college, just how dedicated you were to your craft and planning and investing in yourself and your gifts. And you said something like, yeah, only if she only knew, right? What was actually happening. And so behind the closed doors. And that's what we want our audience to see and to hear about today is what did it look like before the launch of Epic Arts? What were some of the roadblocks and the challenges you experienced and how you overcame them, because we want our listeners to be uplifted, encouraged, and inspired to follow their
Mm.
dreams. So, you were given the opportunity by your leader to launch Epic Arts, but take us back when, because you said this is your baby. So, take us back to even just day one of you having this idea. Did you experience any roadblocks or any fears or doubts along the way?
Wow, yes, that is a great question. Honestly, even now, as we're planning for Epic Arts to be something bigger at a higher capacity, I get frustrated. I get like very closed-minded because I feel like the fear of the enemy gets clogged in, and it makes me feel
Mm,
like is this acceptable to continue to move on when there's still these kind of errors? Um, and so taking it back from the beginning, I feel like we started planning maybe December, January, before March, before the launch date. And we're saying like, okay, this is our launch date. When are we going to start? When are we going to have our first performance? Who are the choreographers? What music are we doing? Are we going to do mirrors? Are we not going to have mirrors? What's the budget looking like? And so it took us a while to get accommodated. And that in me, I had to remember that this is God's timing. He wanted this. And so if this is a God idea, I've always told this to even my boyfriend. He is doing something that's just bigger than himself. And so I said, if this is a God idea, God is going to take you there. And
mm,
so I can't
that's
allow
good.
my frustrations to push me back and put me at a setback, because I get so caught up thinking like, is this going to look appealing to a person who's passionate about dance, that eat, sleep, and think dance? Like, they want to, if they want to waste their time here, does this look like a waste of time, a little kiddie show, or is this a real thing? Is this a program that's going to build me up for not only ministry, but for people to look at me? And so you get in a place where you want to extreme you want excellence, because God is a God of excellence, and you want um people who are interested in dance, but you also want the passionate ones, because you don't want to be looking like boo boo the food with kids doing the movements here, and they're like this. But I like dance. No, we need the ones that are hitting it. And so we want the ones that are hitting it, but we also want the ones that are interested. And so we want that appealing look to Epic Arts. And so I think sometimes I get frustrated because I don't want to not include. I get worried that I'm including too many of my ideas. Okay, Burnett, how many are these are how many ideas of these are yours, and how many of these are God's? Because if this is a
Mm,
God idea, he'll supply the needs. If it's a God idea, he'll show you that vision. But if it's your idea and you get frustrated, don't be surprised that it's not going to turn out the way you wanted it to, because you put your desires before God's. And God always gets the first word, the last word, the middle word. I can't move Epic Arts without God.
yeah. That's good. And what would you say to women who say, well, Burnett, God is speaking to me. God is giving me all these ideas, but I don't even know where to start. My mind is flooded with
Mm.
all these visions and plans, and I don't even know how to take a step one into making that a reality.
I would say step one is to pray about it. You want to hear God coherently. You want to hear what God is saying. And so you see the visions, you dream about the visions, that you dream dreams, and you're growing in understanding what God voice sounds like. So if you want to continue to hear what God voice sounds like, you got to have this banter with him back and forth. And when you become a conversationalist with the Holy Spirit, then you can grow into writing it down, because the Bible says in Habakkuk, write the vision down, make it plain. And so you want to be able to be, you want to create a discipline of writing things down, because then you'll have something to reflect on. Oh, this is what God said in February 2021. This is what God is doing for me now. And so if you're not having that reference, in a sense, that you're losing time. And we only have what we can remember, and then after that it's gone. I can't remember a dream after I get up and walk to the restroom. It's gone. And so you want to be able to be authentic and being disciplined and writing things down. And then from there, I think being able to keep asking God, when am I going to broadcast this? When am I going to set it up? How are we going to get the funding? Because if this is a God idea, you always bring it back to God, because he said it's going to happen, and he gets the last say so.
That's good. I like how you talked about discipline and just hearing the voice of God. And that was one thing that really helped me push through with
Mm,
this podcast, because I was like, this is God's podcast. Like
yes.
this is his dream. This is his vision. He wants women to be inspired, uplifted, and encouraged, to follow their
Mm-hmm.
dreams. And so when I was like considering about not following through, I was like, man, this is God. This is God. He wants to
Come
do
on.
something, and that really helped me. And take us, I want to know, what was your process like? Can you give us a like a concrete example of when you were able to take those steps in saying, okay, I know that this is the vision that God is saying now, and what steps did you take? Could you take us through that process?
Yeah. So I originally started writing my vision and my mission statement and everything in 2016. 2016, yes. And so it took me a while to get into the habit of writing things out. And if it wasn't for the student project, as well as the undergrad class that I had to propel me to write it down, I probably would have taken a lot longer to do it. But because I remember that God was constantly reassuring me, even from my prayer journals, to write these things down, it was easier to reflect from there. And so when I started writing in 2016, and I presented, and I had all the PowerPoint slide, I did all the research. When it came to 2019, it was a quick copy, drag this from
Mm.
file classes to Epic Arts Planning Committee. And then, being that my boss is so amazing, so awesome, uh I just love my boss so much. He was
Shout out
able
to
to see,
Fuentes.
amen. He noticed that, Burnett, if this is gonna I don't want this to fall. I want you to have a team. And so he gave me one of my, one of the greatest person in the world, Jasmine Leonidas. She is my partner in this. um and she'll be the first one to tell you, I don't know how to dance at all, but I am here if you need me. And I just needed available people, people who wanted to do this just as much as me. So we both did more research together. I guess the process of looking at, do we really need mirrors, or can the girls just look out through these big old windows that the church has? Okay, perfect. That works out great. Do we really need snacks? Yes, we want those girls to come right from after school, pick them up from their schools, and bring them straight here, so that we can only have them for about 2.5 hours, and then they're home by 6. Perfect. That makes us work between our work hours. Okay, great. Do we really need this? Do we really need that? How much are the t-shirts? Can we get them for cheaper? Can we press on and do an iron on? So it's all these little things. And I'm like, okay, great. Now we need a choreographer. We need a list of 20 songs that we want to get done, a library, and then we wanted a spreadsheet of girls. We want to make sure who's paying, who's not paying. Are we going to do monthly payments? Are we going to do one-time payments? So it's just all these questions, and then going back and answering them, making more questions out of the ones that you answered, and then going back and answering them, if that makes sense. Because I know
Yes.
when it comes to planning, you almost want to just see something, figure it out. And because I have so much charisma, thank you, Jesus, it's not me, it's the Lord. I find myself I find myself planning less and less in my life, because I'm just like, oh, I could just wing it. I'm good with people. I'm good with speaking. It's perfect. But the Lord had to discipline me, because my boss would come in with the real questions, because he's not playing with the budget that he allotted with us. And I was just like winging it. And I'm like, there's no There's no space to wing it here. And I had to understand that. So if you're doing this on your own, I would say be your own boss, because you cannot wing it. It's
Mm.
impossible to wing it. If you are as disciplined as if you're structural, you're logical, you think like that, and you already have that aspect of being disciplined, perfect. Now keep asking yourself the hard questions. Keep asking yourself, where is the budget going to come from? Keep asking yourself, do you need to live outside of your means, that you thought, the luxury living, to cut back on $20 of Starbucks that you get a month, to go into your vision. All these little
That's
things that
good.
you possibly can do to help yourself align um your vision, the vision that God is giving you for your life, your purpose. If this is important and this is your purpose, it takes sacrifice. And I can't even imagine the nights where I ended at 10 o'clock and I didn't tell my boss, because I'm supposed to clock like at 6, but I had to make sure the girls got home. We wanted to dance an hour longer just to get this dance together. We had costumes to make. And so, yeah, I had the key, and he's like, make sure you guys leave at 5 o'clock, 5:30 to get these girls home, and you're off at 6. Okay, boss. we're there till 10, we're there Saturdays, and we're not supposed to work on Saturdays. And so it goes on and on. If you want to perform at churches, mostly we're going to have to sacrifice our Sundays. We're going to have to sacrifice and Sundays to me, yes, I serve at my church, but then there's weeks where we like fluctuate. And so I get fed, and so I can just sit down. I'm doing 40 hours plus a week of ministry. I can just sit down and receive the word. That's not possible if I have a performance on Sunday and the girls have to
Mm.
get picked up. So we're starting pickups at 6 in the morning because their church service starts at 8. And so it's little things like that you have to sacrifice, but it's for the purpose. Because then the girls end off church services, I messed up, oh, you did so good, girl, I saw you with that kick. And you just hear that in the background of the bus, and you hear them feeling excited, like, when's the next performance? You're just like, yes, God, this is you doing
Mhm.
it. And you want to keep planning, and you want to keep asking yourself these hard questions, so that way you can get to the answer. Like, yes, when is the next performance? I need to set that up. I need a budget. Are we doing the same costumes? You and then you answer those questions. All right,
Mm.
now where I'm gonna get this costume? Where am I gonna do this? Where I'm gonna do, and all of these things help you prepare yourself to launch whatever God has for you.
I like how you mentioned that you're very charismatic, and how this system that Fuentes helped you get into, of asking the questions and preparing ahead of time. What would you say has been the most helpful resource, like a book or video or a podcast, or someone
Mm.
out there that has helped you with that planning process and that thinking more logically process?
I would say that being able to follow other I follow the hashtag youth dance ministry on Instagram. And so I'll see something that they're doing, and I'm just like, God, I want to do that. How do I do that? Or of course, my own experience. I started dancing very young, and then I went to um a performing arts high school.
Hmm.
And then I was also plugged in at my church, and we also did like performances, what was that, 2 3 times a month, um twice a week practices, and just a hardcore of this we serve a God of excellence. And so being able to carry on the experience that I learned from trained school and dance ministry at church has meshed this ministry together for me. But then I also read books for devotionals for the girls, and I also prepare with our curriculum that we use from Bethel for the discipleship aspect. But for the dance piece, it's literally experiencing God, and then just little helps from, not little, because they helped me a lot, just the things that I follow on Instagram, um, to help me feel like I'm not behind. Because I'm just like, oh yeah, I am 26, and these girls are 8 9 10 11 12 13 15 16, and they do want to do the bust it challenge, and I'm just like, you're not doing that. Like, we're doing something else. And I have to keep remembering that this generation is growing, and they desire other things than just making, so you have to make Christianity be fun, you know? It's not just like some slow pace, dry, boring thing. So Instagram and TikTok has been my inspiration in these last 3 months. And I tell you, it is hard. It is very
Mm,
hard because I'm just like, God, if you called me to this, you called me to all of it. And so you've called me to look through TikTok and Instagram to be able to be appealing and not catch up, but almost be at the same level, but better.
mhm,
And so
mhm.
that is definitely something.
For sure, being up to date with the TikTok and Instagram. But one thing I did, I seen that you guys did a TikTok challenge recently too. I seen that on Facebook. There's still that you're still representing the values that you have, that the program has, with also offering the opportunity to dance and be on TikTok. And I think that's super cool. And I'm
Mm.
glad that you just have that perception of it doesn't have to be dry and slow and boring, because God ain't dry and slow and boring. What's up?
God ain't about that slide job about it. Oh.
Exactly, exactly. That's so cool. Now, help us understand. Say, for example, you have one of your girls, they're coming to you with different things. Hey, Burnett, can we do this? Can we do that? Say that what they're asking you to do, you feel like, man, like this is beyond me, or this is outside of my expertise. Then what do you
Mm.
usually do in those times? Because I know, for some of our listeners, they could say, man, like I'm doing this venture, I'm starting this program, I'm starting this ministry, but I sometimes get intimidated by what's required of me, and I sometimes don't really know what to do. And some people get stuck in that place where it's
Mm.
like I'm analyzing so much that I can't even move forward because I'm analyzing so hard. So what would
Mm.
you say to them? What would be some encouragement?
Beautiful question. Yeah, that's stuck. That little pit right there, that's the worst. And you almost feel like you're, am I not creative? Did God not call me to this? Am I dumb? Am I slow? You know, and it's just like you ask yourself these questions because
True,
you're
true.
just figuring it out and you've come to a halt. You know, it's
Mhm,
not like a pause, or it's not like a I'll get through it charismatic, you know. But it's literally I'm stuck. And
mhm.
we used to say that in college all the time. I'm stuck, heck of stuck. But sorry, no need to laugh at your stuckness if this is you in this season. Definitely want to give you that answer. But some of our girls do come with us with the song choices, and for the most part, a lot of our girls choose the song selections out of the library that we have, that we're working with, and I think if it comes down to like some a movement or some kind of like costume idea where it's like crop tops, it's summer, or if it comes to like this aspect where you're just like there's you want to do this trip to Santa Cruz and we don't have Santa Cruz buses. We got San Leandro buses, you know, they make it to San Leandro and back, honey. They ain't going all the way to Santa Cruz, okay? If you get into a place where you're just like stuck and you don't know like where can I um exude out more, if there's even a possibility, I think that's all the more where we can trust in God, you know, where it's like, okay, now this comes into the impossible round. Okay, that's not my specialty, but I know whose specialty that is. It's Holy Spirit. And so I get into this place where I'm just like, Holy Spirit, this is your specialty. This is what you do best. And I think, in a sense, when we begin to trust God more than our donors, we trust God more than our board members, we trust God more than our even our help or volunteers, even the girls that we minister to, if we trust God more in this aspect where it is in his will, I believe 100%, and I can tell you every single time it's come to pass, for at least for Epic Arts and Points of Light in our ministry, that if God has called us to this, then and it's impossible, or I feel stuck, or I feel stupid, or I feel like I can't do it, this is beyond my means, then it has to be God to come in and fulfill that. I'm not saying don't put in the work, because we'll do the car washes, we'll do the bake sale, we'll do the due diligence in sending out donation letters, but we'll also allow ourselves to take a step back and realize this is really impossible if I don't come to God and pray about this and really seek his face and see if this is where the ministry is supposed to go, if this is the level that he wants us to be in. If not, then I have to take a step back and realize, okay, girls, I made a mistake. Let's regroup. I said we can do this, but we couldn't do this. We can't make it. And I've had to apologize before. I had to realize that this is beyond our means.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but when God comes through and he shows me that, well, this is what I meant. And I'm just like, oh, okay, we are performing in front of 2,000 people. Whoa, what? How did we do that? It's not just a 50 person crowd. It's not just a 10-person crowd. It's different. It looks like what God can do when you give him the 2 fish and the 5 loaves.
Mm.
And so that's my answer.
Yes, that's really sweet. And I like how you said, giving it to God and trusting God, but also like being willing to wash cars or
Mm-hmm.
clean or sell shirts or whatever that is to partner with the vision and support it. And I'm also wondering, when you were in the planning stages of Epic Arts, you said that, the senior project, it helped you so much. You were able to combine your experience with um, your background and your, art school experience when you were younger. So what would you say to people who are saying like, Burnett, like I kind of just have a passion. I don't really have that much experience, but I feel like, man, this is an idea I have this program in my heart and I want to just like bring it to reality. What would you say to them, for someone who doesn't have
Mm.
all this experience and background?
Mm. Well, what I would say is that if you have just a passion, find out your nearest blank. If it's like a financial group, you're passionate about money, find out your nearest financial group or finding out your interests and follow those hashtags on Instagram. If you like dance, I mean, when I love dance since I was a little girl, but poetry and spoken word, I didn't know I had that in me. And that came from just seeing, I just saw people spitting words of fire. And I said, God, I want that. Immediately, God said, it's yours if you work on it. Immediately. And I'm like, I can't even, I don't, why would that be mine? That's not something I desire, but that looks like something I would want to do. I want to be able to speak like that. I want to be able to use my voice like that.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
it's immediately God said, that's yours if you want it. If that's yours, if you want to work at it. And so when I started like my I was late, girl, kids were like 12, 13 years old that was
Mm.
performing on stage at church. And I said, God, I want that. And not even till like a year later, I was the one on stage doing that, and I was a freshman in high school. Then so now I'm 16 years old on stage at a mega church because I said, God, I want that. And I want that gift, and so I feel like if that's you, if you feel like you're in a place where you don't have the means to do a senior project, you're 35 years old, you're 50 years old, and you're never too young and you're never too old, and or you don't have that means to have a boss that's able to work these things out with you because you work at a FedEx or somewhere else. It doesn't mean that you can't look at something, say I want it, and the desire to put the work in to get it done. We used to do fine arts, word AG, Assemblies of God. The region that you were in had to do
Right.
performances, and
Mm-hmm.
you would compete against other churches, and so we would come in strong, Trinity AG, and then we were like, we're coming for the throne, okay? Spoken word, we coming for it. And I didn't place, but because of my points, I compared it to the third place winner who was on my team. He was only a point less than me, so that means to me I'm fourth place, baby boy. And I'd be telling people I'm fourth place everywhere because that's really what I was. And I'm like, I started this 3 years ago, but because I desired to write and be amongst people who just wrote and wrote, perform,
Mm.
practice, wrote, perform, practice, it became my eat, sleep
Mm.
habit that I desired. And because that was something I desired with dance, and then it opened the door for theatrics. And so now I was doing drama at the church, and then now I'm doing spoken word, and then I wanted to pick up an instrument. Like, these little things, it just that desire in me grew because I was around like-minded people. And so if if you're not around those like-minded people, you're just like, oh, I'm too old for that, or my boss would never let me do it. Spend that 30-minute lunch, that hour lunch, looking up YouTube videos. How are people doing this? Looking up on your Google Maps. Where are people doing this? Looking it up on Instagram. How are people doing this? You're just constantly keeping yourself around that community so it can grow that desire, habit, passion in you to be disciplined, to write these things down, to grow at your project or your organization, and then to be able to launch it when God gives you the opportunity to.
Ooh, that's so good. Environment. I definitely see how environment plays a major role, because
Mm-hmm.
even recently I was a part of a community group, a virtual community group, and it was all creative. So
Ooh.
photographers, visual artists, digital graphic design,
Mm.
writers. I was the only dancer, but they were like, "Yeah, and in a few weeks from now, we're all going to bring one of our recent projects and we're going to critique our projects. We're going to critique each other." And it just had me so fired up, like
What?
nervous
You've been
too.
hiding this from me? I want to join.
Okay, okay. Well, when it runs back up again, shout out to Liberty Church NYC. When it
Yeah,
starts
yeah.
up again, I'll send you the link.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, but I definitely seen how that made a difference for me. And you're right. You talked about that energy and that kind of like, I don't know, that environment, that kind of, it just feels you like you got this
Mm-hmm.
fire that you wouldn't necessarily have if you weren't surrounded by other creatives. So I totally agree with that. And what else would you just want to say to our listeners before we come to an end?
Oh my gosh, already? Wow, it's been it was so fast. I can talk all day. I really can't though, but I can though
Let
because
us know what else, what's on your
charismatic.
heart. What's on your heart?
Um, I would say keep listening to this podcast because I think I'm gonna get into it as well. I don't want to just listen to mine, but I definitely feel like people have value in their projects and they took their time. And so if you're feeling like you're stuck, or you feel like, how do I even get started? So I'm stuck because I didn't start. um, keep listening to these podcasts. Keep growing and understanding that people have done it and they can pave the way. I also want to say that this is the new norm, before, when we were growing up in elementary school, people asked you what you wanted to do when you get older, and you said doctor, lawyer, teacher. You said things that you already saw or things that are already there. But as creatives, and you're growing in your creative realm and your element,
Mm.
the only thing we knew about creative element was Hollywood. And if you were, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna get famous. Now you have the platform and the means through social media to be famous on your own, to get there and at your own advantage. TikTok is so much different than Instagram, where you can blow up within seconds, days, juxtaposed to your own community that grew because you have this world on your platform. But now, with YouTube, with TikTok, with other creative elements in social media, um you can grow out of being this doctor teacher
That's
kind
good.
of regimen. And
That's
so if
good.
you are designed to be a creator, do it, and do it all the way. Don't hesitate, don't back out, because people are going to watch your content, and people are desiring how to do what you're doing, or how to be able to launch what I want to do differently than you. And we all get a piece of the pie. Somebody's going to join your podcast, somebody's going to sponsor your Patreon, somebody's going to be that one extra person for your subscriber to get that extra money. Somebody's going to want you on their TV show. Somebody's going to want you. So it's different. Being a creator is just different. And so enjoy that. Enjoy this season. Enjoy this generation that has provided the means for us to be creators. And we don't have to have a job title that's the same as everybody else. You don't have to have that teacher, lawyer, blocked out definition for yourself. Now you can be, I'm a creator. I'm a digital creator. I'm a person that does this and that. And I also align these things. I'm a financial advisor that does that participates this things through arts. I don't know, but
Yeah,
you can
that's
do whatever
good.
you want. And it doesn't have to make sense anymore, because now this generation has allowed us to be able to be the, like, it's almost as if you don't even have to go to Hollywood, especially with the pandemic. You don't have to be in Hollywood to make it. You can make it from the ends of your home. And so I'm grateful for that. God provided that. And it's time for the creators to speak.
Listen, listen. I'm about to flip this table. That's so true, Burnett. Well said. Well said. And that was shout out to my dance coach. She she really helped me see that. I attended a dance intensive.
Mm,
Okay, I'm gonna have to text you more when I'm, getting these things. But anyway,
yes.
I attended this dance intensive, and she said exactly what you just said, and that's what really kind of took like the veil off my eyes of like social media is allowing us a platform. It's our
Mm-hmm.
stage. The
Yeah.
stage is like already being set for us. We just got to get on the stage and realizing that it doesn't have to be like you said the orthodox way or like it's been done every other time. And that was
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why I started this podcast. Like I want to see more black representation. I want to see black women being inspired, encouraged, and uplifted.
Yeah.
And instead of me getting mad, this is what God was speaking to me. Instead of you getting mad or upset because you don't see it or because somebody else is not putting it up, why don't you
Wow.
don't bring a chair to the table, set the table up and bring the chairs. Like, and so I'm like,
Mm.
okay, well that's exactly what this podcast is about. Is like this is the table, and I'm not waiting for nobody anymore to bring that table. I'm not waiting for the TV to start showing more black women. I'm gonna show more black women. Like that's what I'm.
Yes.
So
That's so good.
yeah, that I love how you said that, Brenda. That's so true. Listen, if you guys are listening, man, get your table, get your chairs.
Go get your tables and your chairs. Yes. That is your lines.
Yes, because
Bring those lines everywhere.
yes, it's so true, and like you said, the TikTok and Instagram. I mean, and it's easy. I mean, we gotta put in the
Mm-hmm.
work, but it's easy. Like it can be
Yes.
done. It's doable. So, man, thank you so much, Burnett, for coming on the show today. Where can people follow you and connect with you online?
You can follow me definitely at like the at sign Burnett BURNETT _ she is chosen, and that is also on Instagram and TikTok. Burnett Paul BURNETT, last name Paul PAUL on Facebook. And to see my girlies dancing, please follow our Point to Light ministry page POL at POL.Oakland, because yay represent the 510. Well, 510 is actually for all the Bay Area. Okay.
It's okay. She's from
um,
Miami. She's still learning. She's from Miami. She's still learning. But you,
I'm 7 years strong in these roots out here in Oakland. Okay, but I'm never gonna not give shout out to Miami.
yes. Well, Oakland is for sure 510. So you got that right. You go, Burnett
Nice.
girl.
Okay.
And then if people want to be able to donate towards Epic Arts, how can they do that?
Yes, if you definitely want to donate, uh www.poloaukland.org/donate. Underneath other, you can type in Epic Arts and then just be a blessing to us, because we definitely need it. Girls are thinking about costume ideas. I'm just like, God, you gonna provide that, or I'm gonna tell them no. But yeah, this is amazing. It's been amazing. It's been a year strong. God has been faithful with our donors. And so if you want to be a donor, please just hit us up on Point to Light's website, poloaukland.org/donate.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Burnett. Thank you everyone for listening in. We will see you guys next week.
We shall see you. Oh, well, you'll see somebody else, but I'm going to be listening. So I'll hear y'all next week.
Love you, Burnett.
Love you.